it's me, Zoe, the Tipsy Psychic. And today we're going to talk about something very emotional and important. So I'm out of wine, so I'll settle for good old whiskey. How do I open this? What does it mean to be a hereditary psychic? So there's a lot of ways that people manifest their psychic abilities. And some people are born gifted, some people develop it over time, and there are a lot of people who have it passed down through their families. They inherit these traits. A lot of the people who inherit the traits have family members who are already practicing, people who are very intuitive in their family. A lot of the time it's kept a secret because way back in the olden days with witchcraft and all in the trials. Yeah, so a lot of my friends are psychics, practitioners that they grew up with families who were pagan or who were tarot readers, or even if it skipped a generation, like the grandma or the great grandma read tea leaves, or there are other circumstances that can cause you to develop your psychic intuition besides having it passed down through the family or just developing it. And that is a lot of the time in your upbringing. If you have a difficult childhood, it can cause your psychic awakening. I had a very difficult childhood, a lot of trauma. I'm not going to talk about it because, I had a very negative past, and it's very hard for me to find really good memories. I was very lucky. I was raised by two wonderful parents who were married for over 20 years. They were very educated. It was a very liberal household. They taught me to be skeptical of what people say and to develop my own beliefs as opposed to just believing whatever or being closed off to whatever. As far as being hereditary, like having these gifts inherited, up until a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, I would have said no, but now things have happened that kind of put all that into question. And I'm going to get into what happened a little bit and talk to you about my story and my journey. None of my siblings were really interested in the divinatory arts like I was. And my parents were not spiritual. They believed in science, they were atheists, they were open to discussing religion or beliefs, but I always felt different from them. Every time I would see them, every time I would come to visit as an adult, I would even point out, we're so different. But I didn't realize how different we were. I grew up really into divination. I loved tarot cards, healing, and although my parents didn't understand it, they were extremely supportive. Like, they would buy me tarot decks and crystals, and we would go into cool little shops. I grew up in Europe, and things are a little different over there when it comes to psychics and psychic readings. But I used to read all the kids' palms on the playground, and I would just know things about the other kids at school. I would understand how people were feeling. It made me an excellent friend, but it also made my emotions really crazy. I had really come to terms that I was the only one. I couldn't think of any relatives or anybody else in my family who shared this with me. I figured, well, maybe it's something that I was just born with, that I was gifted, and because I didn't develop it over time or get interested in it later on, it's always been there, always. Most of the time, if it's passed down through the mother's side, the maternal side of the family. So like I said, up until 2 weeks ago, I would have said, no, it's not hereditary. 2 weeks ago, I found out that my mom is not my biological mom. And it doesn't mean she's not my mom, she's an amazing human being. I was very loved, very wanted. Big revelation. I'm awesome. Look at me. Look at me. But I hadn't realized how much DNA matters. And learning at age 25 that your mom doesn't carry the same DNA was really like mind-blowing to me. And it definitely opened up a whole new set of possibilities. Like, I completely dismissed the idea that my psychic abilities or talents were inherited. Now I don't know, maybe they are. My heritage suddenly became like this big question mark. And I don't know why I feel this way, because when I watch shows about like adoption or reality shows where, you know, there's a sperm donor, I never really understood why the kid really wanted to find the biological mom or dad. Didn't make sense to me. I'm like, you have a really nice family that takes care of you. Why would you want to fuck with that, you know? Being in the shoes of someone who now doesn't really know where their DNA comes from, it changes things. It really changes my perspective. I am not upset with my family for withholding this information because my childhood was so rough, and I don't think that there was a time, it wasn't time, like they couldn't have told me without me reacting in a very negative way against them. Now I have this huge identity gap. A lot of this just confirms a lot of things that I've been feeling for so long. I didn't even realize my parents both really wanted me. Good for them. I honestly used to joke that I was an accident. Bad joke, but I did because they were so old when they had me, and I'm like, who the fuck has kids that old? Like, I wouldn't do that. But now I know that I was really wanted, you know? Like I said, my parents are open-minded, they're not religious, but Judaism, it's something in your blood, and it's a trait that you inherit through your mother. So am I Jewish? Where did these come from? Am I Russian? Do I look like her? Where did these psychic abilities come from? Did I inherit those? Was it due to my traumatic childhood? Or did I come out of a half shell like Aphrodite? My parents told me that for a very long time to explain why I was so weird. I really liked that explanation, not gonna lie. So to finish up, I am on a new journey to discover my origins. I recently took a DNA test on 23andMe, and I just got notice that it has come in, and I will probably be doing another video about that. Wish me luck on my journey. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this video. Goodbye.